Okay, today we'll show you this VZ Ute. Now this is the last of the LS1 engines. So they had the electronic throttle LS1 or 5.7 litre VZs. This one here was essentially came to a standard. Had a small X4 system on it or something like that, but essentially we've gone through and put a full twin 3-inch, inch and 7/8 headers exhaust system. Changed the transmission, upgraded the transmission to some stronger internals, some 4L65 internals in there to make it, to let it deal with up to around the 550 rear wheel horsepower. And then we've also gone through and put one of our mild camshafts in the engine, and then as you can see a full 1900 Magnuson Supercharger on top of it. We've got the dual speed air cleaner in this one as well. We've just got to finish fitting that up. We're just in the middle of tuning, and we thought we'd show you how it's going. So essentially the rest of it's also got brakes and suspension and wheels and all that sort of stuff over this ute, but essentially for where we're at tuning wise, we started at the 270 horsepower at the tyres. Now with this system on it, we're running just over the 500 horsepower at the tyres, so she's going really well for a essentially standard LS1 with a supercharger. So we'll do a run and show you how it all goes. That's the power end on this thing. We've got up the graph of the before and after. As you can see on here, the red trace is the before graph, and we had full power. It was only going to 5,600 revs, a full power of 256. And as the blue trace, as you can see right from down the bottom here, we've got a really good increase. You've got over 100 horsepower of increase right at the beginning. So really good increase right at the beginning there, nearly sort of probably the 80–90% increase, and that increase stays all the way through and up to our full power of the 509. So effectively this what the work done to this has doubled the power, and it will have doubled the torque at least. Anyway, that's a look at this VZ 5.7 litre with supercharger and other mods. Okay, let's take this VZ 5.7 litre Eaton supercharged Magnuson 1900 Ute for a road test, so you can see just what it goes like. This one's got the built transmission, a 4L60E transmission that's been upgraded, some 4L65 parts and some servos and valving and things like you'd normally expect in a built transmission. Try and keep the shifts down to a minimum. That first gear feels like we need to lower the pressure a tiny bit, but set up to deal with this sort of power, and we'll get it out the road where you can see what it actually goes like. And with this sort of power at 500 horsepower at the tyres, doesn't take much of a squeeze, and you're into a fair bit of acceleration. Okay, so we'll come down just the takeoff. Down to a standstill. third throttle there, just well, probably half throttle on the initial where it spun the wheels, lifted, picked up second, and then you can just let it about third throttle to get a really good acceleration without pushing anything too hard. And they're doing exactly what you want to out of a top mount supercharger on this sort of thing. Turn around and do acceleration up this hill like normal, where I'll go through, be gentle with this. We've only got normal road tyres on it, and a fair bit of torque, so it'll be a pretty gentle start. Throttle in first, still had some little bit of axle tramping down the back there, managed to get that picked up and then you get into full throttle. Yeah, it goes pretty nice for essentially standard LS1, small camshaft and the supercharger on top, and as you can feel that transmission's coping with things really nicely, doing exactly what it's asked to do. I'll keep it rolling. Oh, no. Okay, back down to start. Out the top of that gear, which is really good for this combination. Really working really nicely. Well, okay, that's an overall feel of pretty tough little ute. Hope you enjoyed.